And by following that ideology, we complete Sam and Maida's plot lines. That's just unfortunate. It's like Star Wars, Terminator, and The Last of Us sequels that open up and just destroy, retcon, ruin, and kill off established characters, lore, and events. It's spitting on Subnautica's grave and telling us it was wrong, and it was the wrong way to do things, while also stealing from Subnautica to use itself, to tell us the right way to play, the way things should have been, bashing what came before, while also standing up on its shoulders to hold itself up. That's a big part of my cognitive dissonance, and why Below Zero's story is such a big deal to me, and why it ruins so much of what could otherwise be a great experience. I don't want to continue that. I want to go on further. How most of the critically acclaimed, generally recognizably good sequels, they're not just good sequels. They're actually sequels that are better than the original. They managed to do that, not by shitting on the originals or pulling the originals down. No. What they do is they actually elevate the originals. They build upon what the originals started, what they created. They continue it. They continue to glorify the original honor, the view, the ideas, the core themes, the messaging, the artistry and the writing, what the story is trying to tell you, what the meaning of it is, why you spent the time to invest in this. What it all boils down to is elevating what made the original good and expanding upon it, continuing it, bringing it in a new and believable and understandable, logical conclusion to a new direction. Everything that Below Zero does works against every single thing that made Subnautica so successful, why so many people fell in love with it, why I cared so much about the game, about the franchise, about Unknown Worlds, the reason why I felt so betrayed and deceived and wrong, as I found out with growing horror that the game I'd come to love and adore was starting to turn into something awful and ugly. It's like the romance in a new relationship really quickly fades away, and you start to realize they get drunk one night, start smacking you around, and you start finding things under their bed that you ain't never known about. It's like, oh my God, who is this person I'm with? They're awful, and they're beating the shit out of me. I need to get out of here. I need to talk about this. I need to tell other people what's going on. This is wrong. That's what Below Zero does to me. That's how it makes me feel. The story, it's not just the physical, literal retcon, how the Mercury 2 databank logs, the PDA entries, how the Mercury 2 wrecks. It retcons how the quarantine enforcement platform works. Somehow the Mercury 2 is a 100-year-old ship that is able to get to the planet without being destroyed. It just takes a hit. And then they're like, oh, well, let's try and leave. And then they get hit again and they crash permanently. That is the only thing that's consistent with is how bad the rest of the writing is. It doesn't make sense. It retcons. It changes. It takes away. It makes a joke out of the quarantine enforcement platform as a mechanic in the game and as a storytelling device. Not just that, but Meta being alive, it completely destroys the entire narrative of the game. How does Meta survive 10 years with the Corral? The way as deadly as it's made out to be, the fact that this super hyper advanced alien hive mind race, millennia ahead of us, able to think in ways that we can't begin to comprehend, they got their asses kicked across the galaxy by this bacteria. Real deadly shit, real serious stuff. And the reason that our character is able to find the solution and not them, it makes believable sense. Because the precursors have cybernetic technology integrated into their bodies and their design. Just like Bart had cybernetic implants to help with his mind. The Sea Emperor is an organic being. It's a creature. It's a sentient organic creature. Maybe its telepathy can't work with beings with machinery or cybernetic augmentation. It's beautiful writing. It's puzzle pieces that click, clack, pat. Each time you put a piece in, it's like bam, bam, like a little hit of dopamine. Bam. Each puzzle piece, bam, it fits. Bam. Oh, it's coming together. Bam. Oh, this is a weird looking piece. Oh, let me turn it around. Bam. Ooh, each puzzle piece, it fits together and it makes this beautiful picture, and you lean back and when you're done, you look at it and you're like, I'm going to take it apart and put it back together again because I love it so much. Or better yet, I'm going to expand the puzzle. I'm going to create new pieces and add on to this puzzle because I love it so much. And I'm playing Below Zero, and none of the pieces fit at all. The instruction manual is like, hey, this puzzle box comes with like a free ball of glue and duct tape and scissors. You just cut up the pieces and smash them together however you want. It's not just a bad story on its own merit, because this isn't just a bad game on its own merit. You're using the Subnautica lore and franchise. It's a Subnautica sequel, even if it's not a direct sequel. It's the next game. It's the next Subnautica game. And this could have been a game that crashed and burned all on its own, but you sewed it to the ass end of Subnautica. Kind of like some incomplete Human Centipede twisted experiment, to where not only is Below Zero not a fully functioning independent entity that can survive on its own without the stronger and better Subnautica to do everything for it. Not only does it fail on its own, but it actually makes Subnautica worse. It takes away from the joy and delight that Subnautica brought to the world. It makes Subnautica less of a game. It makes it less of a story. It diminishes the significance and impact of all the beats that it hit right. And all that Below Zero is just this organic, gnarled, tumorous mass of bio-tissue sucking blood and oxygen and nutrients away from the host body. It's a parasite. It's cancerous. It's a tumor. It's a tumor. When I say it's not a tumor, well, this time it's a tumor. It is lupus. It's lupus this time. Man. Y'all are going to ship this out into 1.0. We're going to get to see what the finished product is. Then you're going to get hit with a couple interviews, and you're going to do what you always do. You're not going to take responsibility for any of it. You're going to shift blame. You're going to blame other people. You're going to blame your own community. You're going to blame the users. You're going to blame Steam. You're going to blame white people. You're going to blame males. You're going to blame everyone else but yourself. And That's a sad story to tell.